So here we are in the Long Room. It's the best library in the world, and it has some of the most exquisite collections, including amazing collections about Europe. I'm really interested in the early modern European ones. They were collected by a remarkable man called James Ussher in the 17th century. And the heart of our beautiful library actually is Ussher's library. And Ussher was a great collector, and he gathered up books and manuscripts from around the world, including, of course, from early modern Europe. And these would be works ranging from religious treatises to works about science, and they were in Greek and Latin and French and German and Dutch and Italian. He was a true polymath. In addition, though, to Ussher's amazing collection, we have exquisite medieval manuscripts, about 600 of them. And then sort of as we move into the 16th and 17th and 18th century, we have hugely important collections, and especially the library of the Fagel family. So the Fagels were great figures in the Netherlands. And remember, in the 17th century, the Dutch ruled the world. It was a golden age for the Dutch. And between the 15th and the 18th century, the Fagel family amassed a vast library. And here in Trinity, we have their books, we have their pamphlets, we have their maps. And they give us a phenomenal insight, not just to what was happening in early modern Europe, but what was happening across the early modern world. Technology allows us to digitize these incredible riches, some of which are exquisitely beautiful, extraordinarily rare, sometimes unique, and extremely important for scholars around the world to see and do research on. So through technology, we're able to reconstitute virtually these libraries. So in terms of the Fagel collection, in Trinity, we have the books, the maps, and the pamphlets. But the other half of the Fagel collection is in the Netherlands. So we're able then, through technology, through digitization, to bring the two halves of the collection together.
James Ussher, Church of Ireland Archbishop of Armagh from 1625 to 1656, has justifiably been described as one of Trinity College Dublin's greatest scholars. He's probably best known for his scholarly computations on the dating of creation, which was the result of decades of historical scholarship and which ensured his place in the 17th century Republic of Letters. Ussher had been one of the first scholars to enter Trinity, and he and his father-in-law, Luke Challoner, a founding fellow and vice provost of the college, were entrusted with the important task of building up the powerhouse of the institution, its library. The collections they developed over the first decades of the 17th century demonstrate their ambition to create a library which was fit for a university at a time when the university was going through a series of financial difficulties. Ussher had intended leaving his large collection of over 10,000 volumes, including hundreds of manuscripts, such as the wonderful scientific collections of John Bainbridge. Unfortunately, the outbreak and the impact of the Civil War meant that he had to abandon that plan, and instead he left his collection to his daughter Elizabeth. When the library came on the market, Cardinal Mazarin and King Frederick III of Denmark showed interest because they knew that it was called the Library of the Learned World. However, Oliver Cromwell had other plans. He decided that the army would buy the library for a projected second college at Dublin, and the books duly arrived in 1657. Cromwell's death in 1658 and the restoration of the monarchy in 1660 ensured that that plan for a second college never came into being. But in 1661, Charles II decided to gift the library to Trinity. In one fell stroke, Trinity's holdings were tripled, ensuring that it was placed in the first league of collections. This manuscript is the earliest library catalogue of Trinity College Dublin. It shows the results of the book-buying trips of Ussher and Challoner when they would travel over to Oxford and Cambridge and London to buy books for the college library. It's therefore a testament to the vision of these members of college.
So this is one of the few books in the entire collection where we actually know which individual Fagel it belonged to, because the extent of the library is so vast and it was collected by around 5 generations over nearly 170 years. So when it came here to Trinity College, we say it's the Fogel collection, but really it's the Fogels collection, or the Fogel family collection. In this book, printed in 1700, we have an additional manuscript leaf on parchment, which has the arms of a particular Fogel, Cornelis Gerrit, and his wife Elizabeth Dierkens. And so one of their children was Hendrik Fogel the Elder, who would be one of the greffiers to the Dutch States General, and his grandson had it sold, and that is what came to Trinity College.